Okay, good afternoon. Please be seated. Yeah, finally, the moment comes. And good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the opening ceremony of the Center for Buddhist Studies. My name is Jiang Wu. I'm the director of the Center for Buddhist Studies and also professor at the Department of East Asian Studies. Today, I will be your host and also one of the speakers. And because we're a little bit late, we're going to go straight ahead to today's agenda. So please allow me announce the opening ceremony of Center for Buddhist Study officially starts now. First, I would like to say a few words about the center and once again welcome you to this ceremony. Dear Provost Jeff Goldberg, Vice Dean Ken Jones, Department Head Albert Walter, Venerable Guangquan, Venerable Hong Zheng, Professor Robert Buswell, distinguished guests, conference participants, ladies and gentlemen. Please allow me in this opening ceremony to express to you, in my name as the founding director, our feelings of pride and honor for the founding of the Center for Buddhist Studies in the College of Humanities at the University of Arizona. On this occasion, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to the leadership of College of Humanities and the University of Arizona, Department of East Asian Studies, the Conference Center, faculty, and the students who are involved in making this happen. My thanks also go to our community leaders and donors who laid a solid foundation for the financial health of this new center. I would also like to welcome our honored guests. Some of you come from afar and later will join the conference in the following days. In particular, I would like to welcome Venerable Guangquan, abbot of Lingyin Temple in Hangzhou, who later is going to deliver the keynote speech. Venerable Hong Zheng from Fa Yin Temple in Los Angeles, representing Puyin Educational Center. We also have monastic representatives from other Buddhist orders. All of them bring us gifts to congratulate the founding of this new center. Some of them are on display right now in this room. We want to thank them for the precious gifts. We have also guests, most of them colleagues, from different units of the College of Humanities and the university. They have been working so hard to make the University of Arizona a great place to work and study. The Center for Buddhist Study is one example of their work. For guests from afar, I wish you a pleasant stay among us and success in your work. For our local guests, I hope to see you often in our events and count on your continuous support. The University of Arizona has a long history of excellence in Asian studies. As early as 1955, a special program at the UA to provide courses on non-Western cultures was proposed, including Asian cultures. Department of Oriental Studies was later founded in 1968, and the Department of East Asian Studies grew out of it and renamed in 1990. Buddhist studies as one of the components of Asian studies has been developed by our previous faculty, such as Robert Gimello. In recent years, Department of East Asian Studies has a remarkable growth under the leadership of Dr. Albert Walter. Especially in Buddhist studies, several experts on Buddhism and Asian religions was recruited, making us one of the leaders in the field of Buddhist studies. The idea of founding a center thus came forth and was endorsed and fostered by the Conference Center led by Javier Duran. Many ideas and early proposals were discussed in the meetings of Contemplative Traditions Working Group hosted at Conference Center. With a seed donation from Dr. Su Wukang, who works and lives in China, the proposal to set up the center was endorsed by the COH leadership, the College of Humanities. Previous Dean Mary Waldner Bassett current Dean A.P. Duran. Unfortunately, our Dean A.P. Duran won't be able to join us because of a travel plan. And the Vice Dean Kimberly Jones and the Associate Dean Ken McLister. Their vision led to the final approval of the center in July 2017. Dear distinguished guests, your gathering here today has come at the most opportune time to witness the birth of a new center. Since its approval in July 2017, the center has already engaged in active research and outreach agenda. The center has established a collaborative relationship with institutions around the world, such as University of British Columbia in Canada, Taiwan Shengyan Educational Foundation, Puyin Educational Center, Khyentse Foundation, Zhejiang University, Society for the Promotion of Buddhism, Brigham Young University, Fo-Guang University, etc. Due to the efforts of our faculty and the students in the center, we have received prestigious grants to start 2 Buddhist Studies lecture series funded by Puyin Education Center and the Khyentse Foundation. We are also organizing 2 conferences this year, one on Chan Zen Buddhism in the following few days, and the other on the transformation of the Buddhist canon in the digital age, scheduled in early November. In addition, we initiated various research projects. Notable among all the projects is the Hangzhou Buddhist Cultural Project, which has attracted funding of more than $500,000 US. Embracing the goal of providing leadership in the academic field of Buddhist studies, the center will continue to advance our current projects and seek new opportunities in the future. While we celebrate the founding of this new center and recognize the potential for its growth, we also realize the difficulties ahead of us. The world has been increasingly connected by new technologies which pose new challenges. Meanwhile, happiness of human beings does not increase proportionally with the rise of wealth and power. Rather, human existence and mental wellness are threatened by the fragmented and alienated society obsessed with the material gains. There is a great need to humanize the world, which is the slogan of College of Humanities and also the objective of the Center for Buddhist Studies. It is my conviction that this new center will enlighten the human world and pave new ways for developing Buddhist studies in Arizona. Dear distinguished guests, with these few words, may I once again welcome you to the ceremony and the inaugural events. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So next, it is my great pleasure to introduce Acting Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs and Provost Jeff Goldberg.
Thank you. So, I want to thank Dr. Wu. So I've actually been the acting provost for about 4 weeks. And I'm doing a good job at acting, I hope. And this is actually the first of these types of events that I have been invited to. So I want to thank Dr. Wu in particular. I want to thank Dr. Duran. I want to thank Dr. Jones, who I have had a long relationship with. It's really a pleasure to be here and to get a chance to meet you, in particular, Dr. Welter. Thank you for doing this as well. I'm only going to talk for about a minute or two because this is really it's an overwhelming opportunity for me. So a little bit of background: I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in a very ethnic neighborhood. And I really identify with this notion of humanity and this notion of getting along quite well. I went to Cornell University to do engineering because my mother said that you're supposed to go do engineering, you're good at math and science, and I didn't know you could say no to your mother. And you still can't. But I always thought that there was something beyond engineering, and I sort of took this career, and I eventually went into teaching, and my passion was really for education. And I eventually became an associate dean, just like Dr. Jones, and then I magically became dean of the College of Engineering. And that's really a very sheltered world, the world of the science and technology world. And then we always talk about leadership, and we always talk about how engineering should be blended with the rest of the world in a much better way. And so when I was given this opportunity, you really can't say no. So you come, and all of a sudden you're the provost, and you don't even really know what does a provost mean. But the one opportunity that I have had that has been incredibly special is I've got a chance to learn about the entire rest of the University of Arizona. And so I was sort of off in my own corner, and I've been here for 33 years. And now this, an opportunity to get a chance to talk with extremely strong scholars from the College of Humanities. And I mean, I'm always in sales. Please do me a favor and pick up a brochure at the door, and you can get a chance to see some of the great things going on in the College of Humanities. It's just an honor and a pleasure to even be part of something as special as this. A lot of people think that a lot of the material that comes out of the publications from the University of Arizona is very much science, mathematics, technology, engineering, business related. But you should know this is not the Technical College of Arizona, right? That is not our mission. Our mission is the University of Arizona. And to do that, we have to embrace all areas, and in particular, these areas in culture and these areas in people and how people live together. And that's every bit as important, if not more important, than the other kinds of ideas that we advance on the rest of the campus. So right now we're going through a strategic planning process, and this notion of how people live together is absolutely central to that strategic planning process. And over again, both the president and myself come back to this idea that it's not just doing great technology, it's how does this impact people, and how does this help people live better lives. And so I can't think of a better strategy to start with is to think about this center and the work that this center will be doing. It's interdisciplinary, it works with the Tucson community, it comes out of a wonderful idea from the Confluence Center, headed by Dr. Duran. And these things aren't simple to put together. They take time, they take thought, they take dedication. And so I salute the team for being able to get through these processes and to think about this in a meaningful way that will add value to the entire Tucson community for an incredibly long time. So the department has been here, you said, since the ideas have been here since the mid-50s, and the department is a little bit younger than that. But I certainly hope that I won't be here, but we will be able to come back. We'll be able to come back to the 10-year anniversary and the 20-year anniversary and hopefully the 30-year anniversary at some time, and to be able to look at all of the wonderful contributions and the wonderful work that has been done. So on behalf of President Robbins and on behalf of the University of Arizona, I want to welcome everyone here. I think it's a wonderful time, and it's just an incredibly nice thing, and it's a great thing that we can do to bring such a group of scholars together to really think about some of the pressing problems of humanity and to work on these in such a collaborative and inviting way. So thank you. I want to apologize that I'm booked up triple on events right now, and so I am running here, and I will not get a chance to hear everyone else. I would love to hear. Are we going to do video on the presentation? Great. So I would love to get a chance to hear the presentation as well at another time. I'll be happy to sit and listen so we can discuss as well. So thank you very much. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Goldberg. And next, please allow me to introduce our Vice Dean, Kimberly Jones. Kim is also a professor of social linguistics at the Department of East Asian Studies. So right now, please, let's welcome Dr. Kimberly Jones.
Hi, everybody, and welcome, a very warm welcome from the College of Humanities, honored visitors, our faculty and staff colleagues, students. I'm just delighted to be able to be here and share this very celebratory occasion with everybody, so thank you for coming. If you've taken a look at the College of Humanities website lately, you've probably seen 3 points that really epitomize our belief about what a 20th century view of the humanities is all about. First, and I think most importantly, The knowledge that we create in the College of Humanities through our research and the teaching and the outreach that we do are designed to help solve the grand challenges of a rapidly changing world. Second, our work enhances communication between people of very diverse perspectives from different backgrounds, different cultures, different countries around the globe. And then in all of our endeavors, we engage and collaborate with both local and global communities. So I think those 3 points are epitomized not only by the college, but especially by the work that the Center for Buddhist Studies will be doing. We're growing rapidly. In the past year, we've added, obviously, the Center for Buddhist Studies, also a Center for Digital Humanities, and a new academic department of Public and Applied Humanities. So amongst all of our existing interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary efforts, we now, I think, are poised with the potential to become a national leader in Buddhist studies. To tell you just a little bit about Buddhist studies at the University of Arizona, and this is probably old news to many of you, but we have faculty studying religious traditions from China, India, Japan. We have experts in mindfulness and contemplative studies. Some of the areas in which their research excels include the archaeology of Indian Buddhism, Southeast Asian religions, South Asian religions, Tibetan Buddhism, Chan, Zen Buddhism, Buddhist canon studies, and we'll hear a little bit about that, I think, Buddhist cultural and sacred geography, medical humanities, contemplative pedagogy. The list just goes on and on of all the links that we have to various aspects of Buddhist studies. And then, as you've heard, the Center for Buddhist Studies will fulfill multiple roles. A home for faculty research, of course. It'll sponsor a lecture series, support student scholarship, host academic conferences and visitors, visiting scholars, and continue to preserve the Buddhist heritage in all of its various textual and artistic forms. So in a way, the center formalizes, I think, the curriculum, research, and outreach activities that are already underway at the University of Arizona, while recognizing the new opportunities that are afforded by the rise of global Asian markets, cultures, and the rise of Buddhism-inspired social movements and religious movements in the West as well. So the collaborations here cut across departments and across colleges at the university and extend to the community beyond. The center will study Buddhism and its impact on what's being called the Fourth Industrial Revolution, considering philosophical and ethical approaches to issues like virtual reality, artificial intelligence. The expansive approach to research that I think will be embodied here will include also research done in collaboration with the new Center for Digital Humanities, using advanced digital tools. So through sophisticated digital mapping and 3D scanning of sacred sites, the center is going to study the spread of Buddhism, including the development of distinct regional traditions and variations that are tied to both geography and existing traditions in particular areas. The center is going to develop software and algorithms with artificial intelligence to study digitized Buddhist texts, preserving and cataloging rare documents in a specialized archive, and reaching out beyond research in a sort of attempt to move forward in what we do with our students and push them to deeper engagement and outreach. The center will also promote the ideal of service learning to encourage the students to enrich their experience through community service and social engagement. So I think this is just sort of a taste of what this new center has in store for us. And I, too, as Dr. Goldberg said, will look forward to a 10th year anniversary and a 20th year anniversary and beyond. Thank you so much for joining us on this very momentous occasion as we gather to celebrate the inauguration of the Center for Buddhist Studies and to embrace the potential that it offers us. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Next, let me introduce Dr. Albert Walter, our department head of East Asian Studies. Dr. Walter is also an expert of East Asian Buddhism, author of many books and the recipient of numerous grants and awards. Now please welcome Dr. Albert Walter.
Good afternoon. My first reaction is this must be an important event because I've got a tie on in Arizona. The last time I wore a tie in Tucson was when I came for my job interview. Anyway, as Dr. Wu said, I'm the head of the Department of East Asian Studies, and we are a co-host for the inaugural ceremony for the opening of the Center of Buddhist Studies. And I'd like to welcome all of you. It's great to be here. It's wonderful to have all of you here. As Dr. Wu indicated, this is a proud moment for the University of Arizona and the College of Humanities. Many have worked very hard to realize this moment. Dr. Wu mentioned many of them, and I'd like to add some additional notes. But let me start first close to home. The Department of East Asian Studies is flourishing at the University of Arizona, and this is no small measure a function of administrative support. The former dean of the College of Humanities, Mary Wilner Bassett, the current dean, Alain Philippe Duran, provided encouragement and, most importantly, financial support to rebuild East Asian Studies, so that we now have the largest complement of faculty in our department in a history that dates back to the 1960s. With the addition of 2 new faculty members who will join us in the fall, we now have 24 full-time faculty, all but a handful of whom are tenured or tenure stream. And as part of this rebuilding process, as has already been mentioned, we've been able to attract a relatively large contingent of 6 faculty devoted to Buddhism and Asian religions, 4 of whom either specialize in Buddhism or for which Buddhism is significant to their research. I would also mention that we have significantly expanded our graduate program. We now have close to 50 graduate students, 12 of whom are specializing in East Asian Buddhism, and this is all made possible through robust administrative support. And while East Asian Studies serves as a hub for the Center for Buddhist Studies, there are also a number of significant satellite units important to us. The Contemplative Traditions Working Group, operating under the auspices of the Confluence Center for Creative Inquiry, provided vital initial support during the critical period of incubation. The Religious Studies, English, and Psychology departments also provide faculty resources to support and encourage the study of East Asian Buddhism. Looking farther afield, the Center for Buddhist Studies activities are funded through generous support from a number of donors. The Khyentse Foundation has been mentioned. It initially supported our efforts to establish a lecture series, and our featured speaker this evening will deliver his talk as part of this series. The Khyentse Foundation also supported the establishment of an Outstanding Student Award, the first of which will be awarded shortly. Even more significantly, the Khyentse Foundation has agreed to support the University of Arizona Center for Buddhist Studies initiative aimed at the study of Buddhist culture in Hangzhou, China, as a historical and contemporary hub of the East Asian Buddhism region and the dissemination of Buddhism to Korea and Japan. This is a long-term initiative based on the efforts and support of a trio of universities who are represented here today, Zhejiang University and Zhiliang University in Hangzhou, as well as the major Buddhist temple in Hangzhou, Lingyan Monastery, and the Hangzhou Buddhist Association. Through this project, we aim to reframe East Asian Buddhism from a thoroughly East Asian perspective with a focus on the central role played by Hangzhou. In conjunction with this initiative, we're holding an international conference starting tomorrow on the theme of creating the world of Chan, Son, and Zen, Chinese Chan Buddhism, and its spread across East Asia. It's made possible through generous support from our sponsors, especially from a Jiang Jingguo Foundation-funded American Council of Learned Societies grant, but also with support from Foguang University in Taiwan, the Chinese Institute of Buddhist Studies, and Chengyan Educational Foundation, also both based in Taiwan. Many audience members from around the world are present here today to enjoy our welcoming ceremony and to participate in our conference deliberations. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge this distinguished guest list of scholars. I start with three extremely eminent participants. One, the abbot of one of China's most famous Buddhist monasteries. The other two, distinguished professors of Buddhist studies. The most venerable Guangchuan, abbot of Lingyan Monastery in Hangzhou and director of the Hangzhou Buddhist Academy, is our distinguished Buddhist lecture speaker this evening. I had the pleasure of making his acquaintance a couple of summers ago in Hangzhou, and will introduce him more fully as part of this evening's featured lecture shortly. Dr. Shudo Ishii, many in this room, including myself, are highly indebted to Professor Ishii for spawning the whole field of Song Dynasty Buddhism and its transmission and impact in Japan. In fact, if I may be allowed some shameless promotion, one of the texts I worked on with Dr. Ishii is the basis for my latest book, The Administration of Buddhism in China, a study and translation of Zhanning and the topical compendium of the Buddhist clergy. It was officially launched last week at the annual Association of Asian Studies Conference in Washington, D.C. It was, here we are, 30 years, 700 pages, and 1,500 footnotes later. It's finally come to fruition. So I have Professor Ishii in particular for initiating that project with me. Through Professor Ishii, I came to realize the extent to which Japanese scholars held a repository of knowledge based on a study of Chinese Chan and Japanese Zen Buddhism that stretched back hundreds of years. And Dr. Ishii epitomizes this great tradition of Buddhist studies. So it's a particular pleasure to be able to welcome him here today. Dr. Robert Buswell, a distinguished professor of Buddhist studies and director of the Center for Buddhist Studies at UCLA, will be our lecture series speaker on Friday evening, when he will be speaking on the topic, Is Zen Enlightenment Sudden or Gradual? Insights from the Korean Buddhist Tradition. I will introduce him more fully at that time, but I want to extend my warm welcome now as an eminent scholar who has done so much over the years to promote the study of East Asian Buddhism and almost single-handedly create the field of Korean Buddhist studies in North America and the West. Thank you, Dr. Buswell, and we look forward to hearing from you on Friday. To audience members, please plan on attending. It will be well worth your while. I also want to thank my conference co-organizers or co-conspirators, Jin Park of American University and Stephen Hine of Florida International University. This idea had rather inauspicious beginnings. We were at a conference in Hawaii. We were drinking on a beachside pub in Waikiki, as I recall. It had the rather unceremonious name as the Beach Bar. And we came up with this idea of having a conference, and I foolishly agreed to be the host. And so here we are today. I'm sure there are rivals for great ideas that come out of pubs on Waikiki, but I think ours is probably among the most unique. I also want to especially welcome our conference participants. We are looking at a veritable who's who of scholars, recognized internationally for their contributions, many of whom represent leading centers for the study of Buddhism and the study of East Asia. So I'm just going to read through their list of names very quickly. We have Gaoxing Cho of Zhiliang University in Hangzhou, Guodong Feng of Zhejiang University in Hangzhou, Yishun Huang of Foguang University in Taiwan, Zhengguo Lin of National Zhengji University in Taiwan, Eric Goodall of Foguang University in Taiwan, Kirill Solonin of Renmin University in Beijing, Bernard Senesal of Sogong University in Seoul, South Korea, John Jorgensen of La Trobe University in Australia, and Stefan Dohl of Hamburg University in Germany. Also, our domestic US and Canadian participants, and I get to consider Canadian domestic because I'm Canadian too. so I don't want anybody giving me any feedback about that. So we have Morton Schluter of the University of Iowa, George Keyworth of the University of Saskatchewan, Ken Holloway of Florida Atlantic University, James Mark Shields of Bucknell University, June An of the University of Michigan, Sungwok Kim of Columbia University, and Jason Protas of Brown University. We welcome all of you and look forward to your participation, both formal and informal, in the coming days. Let's everyone join in giving them a big welcome. Thank you.
So we actually have a next agenda, which is the award of Khyentse Foundation Student Award, also hosted by Dr. Albert Walter. So we need Shaolin Glaze.
Okay. We have a technical malfunction. Well, anyway, we have a very nice certificate to award, and if we can find it, I think we just found it. So here she comes to save the day, and trust me, in my life as department head, this is something that frequently happens to me. That she comes to save my bacon, so to speak. Okay, so it is my great pleasure to announce the first recipient of the Khyentse Foundation Outstanding Buddhist Studies Award for 2018, Shaolin Glaze. Shaolin? Dr. Glaze recently completed a dissertation on the important Ming Dynasty Buddhist figure, Yongjue Yuanxian, the first study of him in a Western language. Yongjue Yuanxian was a Confucian scholar, an eminent 17th century Caodong Chan master, and a prolific writer who reestablished the reputation of Caodong teachings. Her research shows how Yuanxian's Confucian and Chan Buddhist backgrounds both contributed to his concern for the supramundane world and for mundane society, informing his philosophical positions, his ideas about harmonizing China's three teachings, Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism, and his response to the challenges facing 17th century Chan Buddhism. Dr. Glaze also showed how Yuanxian tackled some of the leading social issues of his day in attempting to combat the evil practice of female infanticide. In this regard, Yuanxian is an important reminder of a side of Chinese Buddhism, especially Chan Buddhism, that often does not receive attention, that of engaged social activist. Far from being a recluse who shuns society, regaling in unconventional antics, as the persona of Chan and Zen Buddhism is often depicted, Yuanxian was an engaged Buddhist, highly steeped in Confucian teaching and etiquette, who actively participated in the cultural and social debates of his day. Well done, Dr. Glaze, for bringing this to our attention. Dr. Glaze is currently rewriting her dissertation and plans to organize it into several articles to submit to academic journals. At the same time, she is pursuing postdoctoral grants to further her research. And as if this were not enough, she is also busy conducting an online course which has a total of 151 students. She will always have a home with us in the Center for Buddhist Studies. Please join me in congratulating the first recipient of the Khyentse Foundation Outstanding Buddhist Studies Award for 2018, Shaolin Glaze.
Thank you, Dr. Walter, and also congratulations to Dr. Shaolin Glaze as her dissertation advisor, right? I'm very happy about this result. Right? So that's basically conclude our agenda on the opening ceremony. So with the conclusion of the opening ceremony, dear distinguished guests, let me announce the Center for Buddhist Studies at the University of Arizona officially opens. Thank you. Thank you. Last but not least, on behalf of all the guests, I would like to thank the staff at the College of Humanities, Department of East Asian Studies, and the Center for Buddhist Studies, especially the Office of External Relationships for making this event happen. Thank you. Thank you very much. So without any break, I think we can just move to the next agenda for today's event. We actually have a cluster of events. So the opening ceremony is just one of them. And more important, I think, is going to be the Khyentse Foundation Buddhist Study lecture given by Master Guangquan. And Dr. Walter, once again, will host this event and introduce our distinguished guest, Master Guangquan.
Some of you are probably getting tired of listening to me, but just bear with me for a little while longer. Okay, this is the very important event, and this is, I have introduced the next speaker with really great pleasure. The Khyentse Foundation Distinguished Buddhist Lectures will be delivered by Venerable Master Guangquan, Abbot of Lingyan Monastery in Hangzhou. And let me say a few words about him, because he's quite a remarkable person, as you'll come to learn. He was born in Hangzhou, Zhejiang Province, in 1961. He became a monk at Faguang Temple in Jiangsu Province in 1989 and obtained higher ordination in 1990. He obtained a master's degree from Zhejiang University in 2005, and the Venerable Master received an honorary title of Maha Sadama Jyoti Kadaja from the President of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar in 2013. The Venerable Master holds several high positions in Buddhist organizations, and we're talking high positions. Deputy Secretary General of the Buddhist Association of China, Deputy Director of the Education Committee of the Buddhist Association of China, Director of the Center for National Sutra Preaching Exchange of the Buddhist Association of China, Vice President of the Buddhist Association of Zhejiang Province, President of the Buddhist Association of Hangzhou, Rector of Hangzhou Buddhist Academy, and of course, Abbot of Lingyan Monastery of Hangzhou. When I read through this list, I thought, some days when I complain about administrative duties, I will think of Master Guangquan and think my lot is not so bad after all. Venerable Master Guangquan has partnered with leading international education institutions on research projects and provided academic scholarships and grants to universities such as Peking University, Zhejiang University, Nankai University in Tianjin, the Buddhist Academy of China, Oxford University in the UK, and Buddhist and Pali University in Sri Lanka. The educational contributions above are long-term research efforts dedicated in various areas of Buddhism, particularly in Buddhist education. Social charity has consistently been a priority for Venerable Master Guangquan and Lingyan Monastery. Disaster relief appropriation in recent years include the catastrophic earthquake in Sichuan, China in 2008, the earthquake in Qinghai Province in 2010, Nepal earthquake in 2015, the Lishui debris flow disaster in Zhejiang in 2016, and the Sri Lankan flood in 2017. Major efforts in social welfare include contribution to the fund of the China Sun Qingling Foundation, donation and support to the impoverished villages in the township of Chuangkou in Zhejiang Province, and contribution to the Bodhi School of Ruili in Yunnan province, and aid to several Dhamma schools in Sri Lanka. As a diligent scholar monk, Venerable Master Guangchuan has published various works and articles, including The History and the Reality of Zen Tea, The Real Flavor of Zen Tea, The Inheritance and Development of Buddhist Music, a study of Hetu Vidya, the science of logic, Zen and contributions to tea periodicals, and the Hangzhou Buddhist Document Database. As many of you know, the recent history of Buddhism and religion in China has not always been an edifying story. Buddhism was severely criticized during the Maoist period. The doors of its monasteries shuttered, converted into more quote-unquote productive enterprises, or even physically destroyed, and its monks and nuns forced to renounce their vows. The relaxation of restrictions in recent decades has witnessed an unbelievable resurgence in China as a whole, and Chinese Buddhism in particular. As Chinese Buddhism is reconstructed and reinvented in contemporary China, we can find no better example of what this resurgence bodes for the future than Venerable Master Guangchuan. In his various guises, the Venerable Master has reconstituted the traditional role of the Buddhist master as engaged participant for the betterment of society, whether as administrator, as promoter of Buddhist education, as charitable benefactor, or as diligent scholar monk. As China poises itself to become a leading nation in the 21st century, masters like Venerable Guangchuan are poising Chinese Buddhism to become a leading, perhaps even the leading, force in the dissemination of Buddhist values and teachings for the 21st century. It is our particular pleasure to host Venerable Master Guangchuan as the Khyentse Foundation Distinguished Buddhist Studies Lecturer for the opening center for the Center of Buddhist Studies. He's going to speak today on the topic, Telling the Story of Chinese Buddhism, Promoting Exchange and Mutual Learning Among Civilizations. Please join me in welcoming him. Thank you.
女士们、先生们，大家下午好。3月的亚利桑那大学草木葱茏，生机勃勃，来自世界各地的佛教界、学术界汇集到一堂，畅叙友谊，交流思想，对促进中国佛教、美国佛教乃至世界佛教都具有积极的推动作用。
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. In this lovely season of the early summer, when living things is full of energy, at the University of Arizona, the Buddhist academic representatives from all over the world come together to exchange ideas and promote friendship. It has the great significance in promoting the Chinese Buddhism, American Buddhism, and the words of the Buddhism.
在此，我谨代表中国杭州佛学院和杭州灵隐寺，向贵校佛学研究中心成立致以最深切的和最真诚的祝贺，向出席活动的各位嘉宾朋友致以最吉祥的祝福。同时，我还要向贵校人文学院院长阿莱菲利普·杜莱德先生对我的诚挚邀请表示感谢，向吴江教授担任贵校佛学研究中心主任表示祝贺。我相信贵校成立佛学研究中心，定将在佛学研究领域、国际佛教人才培养以及促进东西方文化文明交流互鉴等方面产生更为重要的作用和深远的影响。
Here, on behalf of the Hangzhou Buddhist Academy and the Lingyin Temple in Hangzhou, China, I would like to extend my deepest and most sincere congratulations for the founding of the Center for Buddhist Studies at your university. I would like to extend my best wishes to all the guests and friends present at the event. At the same time, I would like also to express my thanks for Professor A.P. Durant, the Dean of the College of the Humanities, for his sincere invitation. I would like to extend my congratulations to Professor Jiang Wu on his appointment as the Director of the Center for Buddhist Studies. I believe the establishment of the Center for Buddhist Studies will have a significant and far-reaching impact on the field of Buddhist studies, the cultivation of the international Buddhist study scholars, and the promotion of the exchanges and the mutual learnings between the East and the West civilizations.
随着科技的发展，全球化时代的到来，文明的相遇、交流、碰撞、融合越来越常态化，人类命运前所未有的紧密联系在一起。佛教作为东方宗教的代表，源于印度，畅于中国，扬于四海。佛教自东汉时期经古丝绸之路传入中国，在长期的传播和发展过程中，佛教逐渐的与中国固有的思想文化相融合，并最终成为中国传统文化的重要组成部分，不仅深刻地影响了中国社会，也不同程度地影响了东亚、东北亚和东南亚等地区。
With the development of the science and technology and the advance of the era of the globalization, the encounters, exchanges, and coalitions and the integration of the civilization have become more and more normalized. The fate of the humankind had never been more closely linked. Buddhism, a representative East Asia religion, originated in India and developed in China, and spread throughout the world. Buddhism was introduced into China during the Eastern Han Dynasty in the 1st century CE through the ancient Silk Road. During its long-term spread and development, Buddhism has gradually merged with the Chinese indigenous ideologies and eventually become an important part of Chinese traditional culture. It has profoundly influenced not only Chinese society, but also to varying degrees of the societies of the Eastern Asia, Northeast Asia, and Southeast Asia.
杭州不仅是一座历史文化名城，也是中国禅宗文化的重镇，历史悠久，高僧辈出，佛学兴盛，素有东南佛国的美誉。杭州佛教始于东晋咸和元年，西印度僧人会理来华游方，进入浙江境内后，在杭州飞来峰前结庵建寺，名为灵隐寺。期间又信进了灵鹫、灵峰、灵顺、灵山等武林的建设，由此呢，开启了杭州佛教延绵数千年的弘法活动。
Hangzhou is not only a famous historical and cultural city, but also a center of Chinese Chan culture. Historically, the region is known as the Buddha land of the southeast in China, and has produced numerous eminent monks with the influential Buddhist teachings. Hangzhou Buddhism began in the first year of the Shenhe era in East Jin Dynasty, 326 CE, when the West Indian monk Hui Li traveled to China and arrived in the Zhejiang province, sat down in a hut at the foot of the Feilai Peak in Hangzhou. He then established the first 5 temples in Hangzhou. They are Lingyin, Lingjiu, Lingfeng, Lingshun, and the Lingshan Temple. Thus began the thousand of years history of the Hangzhou Buddhism, which has developed and spread to other countries.
杭州佛教历经魏晋南北朝的发展，到唐宋时期达到了高峰。尤其是南宋定都杭州以后啊，由于其经济发展、文化繁荣、社会进步，不仅成为了中国政治、经济、文化的中心， 也是中国及东南亚佛教文化的交流中心，吸引了大量日本、韩国、朝鲜及东南亚国家的僧侣来杭求学参学。据中日文化交流史中记载，当时入宋的日本僧人达到了109人，并逐渐形成以杭州灵隐寺、径山寺和净慈寺为中心的修学重镇，对中国佛教文化传播起到了巨大的影响力。南宋杭州佛教不仅仅是僧人的力量，还包括了朝廷、文人士大夫等社会各界力量的支持，形成了杭州佛教繁盛的局面。
After the development of Wei, Jin, and the North and South dynasties, that is through 3rd century to 6th century, Hangzhou Buddhism reached a pinnacle in the Tang and the Song dynasties, that is 7th century to 13th century. This is especially true for Hangzhou, the capital of the Southern Song dynasty, which became the political, economic, and the cultural center of China. Spurred by its great economic development, it was the center for East Asia's Buddhist culture exchange, attracting a large number of the monks from Japan, Korea, and Southeast Asia countries to Hangzhou seeking the Dharma. According to the history of the culture exchanges between China and Japan, there were 109 monks who visited China during the Song dynasty. Hangzhou Buddhism, centered upon Lingyin, Jingshan, and Jing's temples, had a great influence on the spirit of the Chinese Buddhist culture. The monks, the imperial court, and the literary officials all contribute to the prosperity of the Hangzhou Buddhism.
清末民初，中国社会正处于思想激荡、时代变革的重要时期。此时的中国佛教，在一大批有识之士，如太虚大师、弘一大师以及马一福居士、夏丏珍居士等高僧大德、社会贤达的努力下，出现了以南京、上海和杭州为主的3大中国佛教弘传中心。其中，南京佛教以居士为主，上海作为国际大都市，佛教主要以僧人和居士为主，杭州佛教则以僧人为主，开启了近代中国佛教发展的新阶段，直接推动了近现代中国佛教的全面复兴，并对近现代中国社会思想文化产生深刻的影响。
At the end of the Qing dynasty and the beginning of the Republic of China, Chinese society was in an ideological transition period, and the effect of the large number of the Chinese Buddhists, such as Master Taixu, Master Hongyi, Mr. Ma Yifu, Mr. Xia Mingzun, 3 major Chinese Buddhist centers, namely Nanjing, Shanghai, and Hangzhou, emerged. Among them, Buddhism in Nanjing was led by the lay people, while Hangzhou Buddhism was dominated by monks, and the Shanghai Buddhism was centered upon the monks and the lay people. They initiated a new phase of the modern Chinese Buddhism, directly promoting the revival of Chinese Buddhism, and had a profound influence on the social ideology and the culture of modern China.
其中，太虚大师是世界佛教运动的重要推动者。他在1922年创建世界佛教联合会，随后又建立世界佛学院，培养国际弘法人才，并先后出访了英、法、美等国，弘法日本、南亚、东南亚，加强了各国佛教徒之间的友好交流和互助合作，促进了东西方文明的交流互鉴。
Among them, Master Taixu is an important promoter of the world Buddhist movement. He founded the International Buddhist Conference in 1922 and subsequently established the Buddhist International Institute to cultivate young monks to promote the Dharma internationally, to propagate the Buddhist teaching in Japan, South Asia, Southeast Asia, Europe, and America. which strengthens the friendly exchange and cooperation among the Buddhists in various countries and promote exchange between the Eastern and the Western civilizations.
佛教最早传入美国的是中国劳工。1928年，太虚大师赴美国弘法期间，他曾在耶鲁大学发表讲演，参访摩诃菩提学会纽约分会，并与芝加哥菲尔伯博物馆、世界佛学院美国通讯处为中国佛教在美国的传播做出了努力。上世纪50、60年代，来自中国大陆和台湾地区、香港地区的佛教高僧大德，纷纷在美国建立道场，开展弘法事业。如今，美国佛教信徒占全国总人口的比例正在逐年增加。美国本土人士日趋对佛教产生浓厚兴趣。2002年，据统计，美国全境已有上千座寺院和禅修中心之类的佛教组织。2005年，美国国家地理杂志估计，美国目前有数百万佛教信众，且有数千万人承认他们的精神生活曾受到佛教的影响。
Chinese Buddhism was first introduced into the United States with the immigration of the Chinese laborers. In 1928, Master Cai Chu had a presentation at Yale University and visited the New York branch of the Mahabodhi Society and established the U.S. Communication Office of the Buddhist International Institute in Fairchild University in Chicago as well, contributing to the spread of the Chinese Buddhism in the United States. In the 1950s and 60s, Chinese monks established the Buddhist temples and institutions in the United States to promote the Buddhist teaching. Nowadays, the proportion of the American Buddhist followers in the total of the population of the country is increasing every year. Americans are increasingly interested in Buddhism. There were already thousands of the Buddhist organizations such as temples and meditation centers throughout the United States in 2002. According to the 2005 U.S. National Geographic, there were more than 1 million Buddhist followers in the United States, and tens of millions of people admit that their spiritual life had been influenced by Buddhism.
亚利桑那大学作为世界知名的高等学府，美国最负盛名的公立研究型大学之一，自1885年创立以来，已有130多年的历史。其天文、地理、地质、土建等学科有着雄厚的科研实力，而人类学、社会学、哲学、法学、工程学、生命科学在美国也名列前茅，被誉为公立常青藤大学之一，同时也是北美顶尖研究型大学联盟美国大学协会的62所成员高校之一。现贵校利用现有的东亚研究和宗教研究方面的专业，建立佛教研究中心，不仅促进了佛教传统的学术研究，也促进了不同文明之间的和谐共存，为维护世界和平提供了宝贵的经验。
As the world-renowned institution of the higher learning, the University of Arizona is one of the most prestigious public research universities in the United States. It has a history of more than 130 years since it was founded in 1885. Its disciplines, including the astronomy, geology, geography, and civil engineering, have strongly scientific research strengths. And anthropology, sociology, philosophy, law, engineering, life science are also among the best in the United States. It is known as one of the public Ivy universities. It is also a member school of the North American Top Research University Alliance, among the 62 American Association of the Universities. Now the University of Arizona uses your experience, knowledge in the East Asia studies and the religion studies to establish a Buddhist research center. It has not only promotes the traditional academic research of Buddhism, but also promotes the harmonious coexistence among the civilizations, and provide valuable experience for the maintenance of the world peace.
如今，杭州佛教界正齐心协力，已将杭州建成为世界佛教文化交流中心，逐步将杭州建设成为国际性的佛教文化研究交流基地、信息传播枢纽以及佛教朝圣礼佛圣地，积极与国际组织加强联系，引进国际机构，开展国际佛教文化的研究和联谊。
Currently, Hangzhou is hastening to establish the World Culture Communication Center, which is envisioned to serve as the base for the international Buddhist culture research exchange, a hub for the dissemination of the information, and a sightseeing spot for Buddhist pilgrims. We are now actively cooperating with the international organizations to introduce the international institutions to develop networks for conducting research on international Buddhist cultures, and to successfully create a forum for international Buddhist culture exchange.
以此因缘，我们希望中美两国佛教界和学术界集中智慧，贡献力量，共同推进国际性弘法人才的培养，丰富和发展佛学基本理论，为全球佛教学术发展与人类精神文明进步提供智力支持，积极推进世界文明对话，从更广泛的视野、更开放的态度，以期取得更多的共识，推动世界多元文明交流互鉴，共建人类命运共同体。
Based on these developments, we hope that scholars from the field of the Buddhist studies, include scholars in both China and the United States and around the world, will contribute their wisdom to cultivation and promotion of the Buddhist teaching internationally, to enrich and develop the Buddhist theories and provide the intellectual support for global Buddhist academic development and the progress of human spiritual civilizations, to actively promote the dialogue among the civilizations in the world and take a broader prosperity and perspective and the more open attitude to gaining more common understanding, and to promote the exchange and the mutual learning among the civilization in the world to build a community of a shared future for mankind.
最后，祝愿佛热增辉，法能常转，祈愿贵校佛学研究中心蒸蒸日上，祝愿在座诸位身心健康，六世吉祥。同时，也预祝明天召开的首届中国禅国际学术研讨会诸事顺利，圆满成就。阿弥陀佛，谢谢大家。
Finally, may the Buddha's light deliver away the darkness of the ignorance and the will of the Dharma trends unceasingly. The Center for Buddhist Studies at the University of Arizona succeeds. At the same time, I also wish for the complete success of the first Buddhist Chan Conference, creating the War of Chan, Chinese Chan Buddhism, and its spread throughout East Asia. May all the beings be well and happy. Thank you.
Thank you, Master Guangquan. It's a wonderful talk. Thank you for your encouragement. We already feel the pressure. We'll see how much we can do. And in the future, I believe we will do our best to accomplish, to achieve the goal you said in your speech. In the printed program, that's basically all for today, but we add something else because I mentioned in my speech, actually Master Guangquan brought a piece of very precious gift. I think we'll just have a gift exchange session. Okay, so let's. Thank you very much, Venerable Guangquan. In return, we also have a small gift to present to Master Guangquan. We have a notebook with university logo, and also my book. Continuing self-promotion once again, but I think this is very meaningful for Chinese Buddhism. This is a book on Master Yuan Longqi, who transmit Chinese Buddhism to Japan. Thank you. We also have Master Hongzheng. Is the Master Hongzheng here? Okay. So he also brought a precious gift from Fa Yin Temple. So this is Chinese couplets. So thank you. So next is reception, right? The time to enjoy. I believe the food is ready over there. For today is all vegetarian and vegan, no alcohol, right? So please enjoy. And for during the meal, and we have a tea, Chinese tea will be served as well. In addition, around 7 o'clock, we're gonna have 2 short performances. One is Chinese music, another one is Shaolin martial arts. Please enjoy. Thank you very much.